Now we are at Portside, CFS, where we have just established that at the time when the first committee was doing an investigation, there was around 139 containers that were carrying condemned cooking oil. Today, as we were doing the investigation, we have established through random sampling that out of the 139, 88 of them are allegedly have allegedly been released to the market to be reused in manufacture of soap. The remaining 53 are the ones that have a suspicious chain of custody, because the 53, out of the 53, we've been able to establish that 2 of them were actually released as this process was going on, and the 51 that remain are actually empty, meaning that they do not have the condemned cooking oil. So the first thing that is a big concern for the public is, if this foodstuff has left a bonded warehouse, where did it end up? Because chances are it ended up on your table and you're consuming poison. The second issue that this committee is seeking to establish is the chain of custody. From where these goods were loaded, and whether there was a standard check as they were being loaded, how they were offloaded here, and whether there was a standard check, the entry of the multi-agency team, and what they were able to establish on the onset vis-a-vis what we are establishing now. Who has been handling this contraband material from the time that it was declared as unfit for human occupation to today. Now, appearing here is a parliamentary committee, and by law, a parliamentary committee sits at the level of a high court when it comes to an investigation. That the high court and the parliament are at par when it comes to a matter of public investigation, meaning that if this investigation is revealing that there has been criminal activities happening at this CFS, then I do reiterate what the chairman is saying, that this is actually a sin that should be taken up as a sin of crime and treated as such, meaning that it should actually even be condoned as a sin of crime, operations halted until it is established how 51 containers can disappear from a bonded warehouse without anyone being able to put a trace to it.
53 containers have been stolen. They are gone.
Of oil that was condemned.
That was condemned, and sadly they must have been converted to the local market. We are told that DCI is carrying out investigation. We believe this investigation cannot take forever, and it is not a rocket science to establish the liability, who is actually behind those stolen 53 containers. So we want to put DCI on notice that they must move with speed to be able to prosecute those culprits behind the stolen containers. There should be no sacred cows. We are aware that this facility belongs to a prominent businessman in Mombasa, who is also a top politician. But the law is blind. And the law that applies to ordinary Mwananchi should apply to all of us, including myself. So we are asking DCI to fast-track the prosecution of the owners of this. Number 2, KRA, we are also putting you on notice. It is very sad to find an entity like this operating under full glare of KRA when we know that there is violation of the East Africa Community Section 26 of the Act, that the liability rests with the port side, the owners of this business. In the event that properties disappear, they have to crack the whip. For some strange reason, they haven't taken any action. We would have seen this place cordoned off as a crime scene from DCI, number 1. Number 2, would have liked to see KRA invoke its powers to be able to suspend the operation of this port site. Because everybody agrees that this thing has been stolen. Everyone. It is not in doubt that 53 containers full of edible oils have been stolen from this port side facility.
Which is not fit for consumption.
And unfortunately, the oil we are talking about is also not fit for human consumption. We are asking ourselves, if somebody can be, brave enough to be able to steal a flagged containers
From a bonded warehouse.
A bonded warehouse, what about those that we do not know? Those that are already coming in on a daily basis here. So the law must take its course. The facility, in our view, is operating illegally, and relevant agencies must move with speed to be able to contain